miscommunication of blitzes and free runners as a result of it, and he paid a pretty good price. So I think he's only played 16 games. He's only really technically officially completed his rookie year. Played 10 last year and 6 this year. So I think that that experience that he had in Baltimore last year will stand him in good stead. He knows what he's looking at. He knows what Wink Martindale's about in terms of pressure packages and things of that nature. So we'll see how not only Joe Burrow plays, but the offensive line, if there's improvement there, and give him a chance to perform.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. I was hearing today I was driving around town here in Baltimore. I heard that Lamar Jackson is 5-0 against you guys, and he's been running wild. But he's been talking about how great the Bengals defense is better this year than last year.
Yeah, the Bengals spent a ton of money the last 2 off seasons, over $100 million in free agency, and addressed the defensive line and drafted at the linebacker position. But in the secondary and up front, the defensive line, they signed DJ Reader as a free agent, Larry Ogunjobi, Trey Hendrickson, gave him a big contract. He got him from the Saints, Ogunjobi from the Browns, DJ Reader from the Texans. And on the back end, Mike Hilton from the Steelers, Eli Apple from the Giants, Awuzie from the Dallas Cowboys. So, they've revamped their defense. There's no question about it. It's a much different defensive football team in terms of personnel. They're playing at a much higher level. They every level of the defensive line, linebackers, and in the secondary, they're all doing a good job, and it's a very cohesive group. And they've played well. It's all about how many points do you give up, and that's how the game is. The game's decided, and they're 5th in the NFL in terms of points allowed. But this offense will by far be the best offense that they've gone against this year. There's no question about it.
And you're going up against the Ravens defense. It's not that type of defense that you've seen in last couple of years. They gave up almost 500 yards to the Colts, on Monday Night Football, and the Raiders, ran through them, on opening night. So I guess the Ravens are not that type of defense that they were years ago.
Well, I think again, you look at it, and they're maybe not the same type of defense in terms of personnel, but the same type of packages with Don Wink Martindale. I mean, I know interior their defensive tackles, Williams and Calais Campbell are a load for any center and guard group in the National Football League. The thing about the Ravens you got to respect is 17 players that are on injured reserve. And they just keep finding, next man up and go play well and get things done. I got a lot of respect for what the Baltimore Ravens are about, and I don't think anybody in Cincinnati is taking it for granted that they're not going to come out and play, real good defensively against the Cincinnati Bengals. You certainly can't go into the game thinking that that's going to be the case. And they haven't given up a ton of points either. I mean, they've only given up 123 points. The Bengals have given up 111. So it's not like, they're 7th in the NFL in points allowed. And again, that's how that's how games are won and lost. You got to keep opponents off the scoreboard.
That's true. Well, talk about the AFC North. It seems like this year they're getting a little bit better than every year. Seems like now you guys are getting better, and then Cleveland's been getting better the last couple of years, and the Steelers right now are like in the middle, and then you got the Ravens. So it seems like it's a competitive division.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been one of the premier divisions in football for a while in terms of, you got at least one wild card, and in some years you got 2 wild cards coming out of the AFC North. So I do think top to bottom that it's a pretty good division. Cleveland's obviously struggling with injury. Everybody is. I mean, that's life in the National Football League. The Ravens, as I said, 17 guys in injured reserve. That's the most in the National Football League. The Cleveland Browns have got their share of injuries. Their quarterback, both their offensive tackles. I mean, the list goes on and on for them as well. Pittsburgh's in a little bit of a transition, but Pittsburgh's finding themselves. Pittsburgh will start running the ball. They've always played great defense. I think they'll continue to play great defense. But Ben Roethlisberger needs a running game, and they're going to have to figure out a way to get that done. But I wouldn't count them out either. They've got too much history, too much pride. That's a very prideful organization.
Exactly. Well, Dave, thank you so much for coming on. Real quick, talk about your new show. You do a lot of stuff on YouTube out in the trenches. When did that start up?
Yeah, that's just at the beginning of the year, probably, I guess, in the first quarter of the year, February, March, I started doing a podcast called In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, and just interviewing as many different people in the sports world in the Cincinnati community and elsewhere. But during the season here, now that the Bengals season has started, do a lot about the Cincinnati Bengals with respect to opponents, broadcasters, players, coaches, all that sort of thing. Just giving people as much information as possible about the upcoming game, and then doing a recap of the game when it's over. And it's been a lot of fun. As you know, when you start podcasting, you find things out about people that you had no idea about. Information surfaces on podcasts. It's quite amazing.
It is. I found out that you played in the United States Football League. I was like, wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting. You were with the Generals, right?
Yes, played for the former president. Played for Donald Trump. Played in the New Jersey Generals with Brian Sipe, Herschel Walker, and it was an interesting time in football life for sure. There's no doubt.
What was it like having Donald Trump as your owner? Was he like every day down at practice yelling at you, going, "We need to make money here. Come on."
No, I'll tell you though, he's a great owner. He spent money. He basically some of the USFL owners couldn't make their payroll at the end when the league started to have some financial problems. He paid everybody every penny that was owed to them, and he was very, very intent and aware of doing things like the National Football League did. He would ask guys that came to the USFL from the NFL, is this how the NFL does it? How's the travel? How's the food? How's the accommodations? How's this? How's that? It was very, very competitive. That's not surprising.
Wow. See, like you said on the podcast, you learn some new things from people you never know.
That's right. Absolutely, Chris.
Exactly. Well, have a safe drive. Thanks for coming on, and safe trip to Baltimore.
Thank you. Appreciate it, sir.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Take care.
I see you. All right, folks. That's Dave Lapham, who is one of the former Cincinnati Bengals who are on the Bengals radio network. The Ravens and Bengals this weekend. Bengals and Ravens Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. So the game's on Sunday at 1 on CBS. So, folks, thanks for joining us tonight. Real quick, we're going to wrap it up here. The Astros won the game tonight. They have a 3-2 series lead on the Boston Red Sox, heading back to Houston. Hang on a second. One for the Sox. So let's see here. Yeah. So the Red Sox are down 3-2. It started